Today, I will show you with real examples how small FPV drones can change the course of the battle, disrupt the Russian military's offensive operations, destroy entire columns of armored vehicles, turn Russian armor into fireballs, and possibly even shoot down helicopters. During the summer offensive, the Ukrainian army used 30,000 rounds per day. NATO and US stockpiles slowly began to deplete, and new productions couldn't keep up with the demands for ammunition. In these conditions, Ukrainian forces started to heavily rely on FPV drones, and their use exceeded all expectations. The value and combat power of these small and inexpensive kamikaze drones were discovered by Ukrainian military from the first days of the war. Ukrainians quickly realized that just one small drone could disrupt entire Russian military operation. Take a look at this footage. The Russians set out on a combat mission using 3 armored vehicles. The lead armored transport takes a hit from an FPV drone and catches fire. This single strike proved enough to disrupt the entire mission. See what happened next. 2 armored transports stopped in fear, watching their comrade ahead burn. While they waited and contemplated their next move, Ukrainian artillery started targeting them. At that point, the Russians, abandoning their armored vehicles, began to flee. Using FPV drones, Ukrainians took down another armored transport, and then another. This Russian combat mission ended without even getting started. It was soon discovered that certain types of FPV drones can carry anti-tank grenades with shaped charge capability, capable of penetrating the armor of any Russian tank. Compare these 2 explosions on Russian tanks. The first tank is destroyed by a javelin missile, while the second is taken out by an FPV drone. The outcome is the same, but the javelin missile costs nearly $100,000, whereas the drone cost less than $1,000. Take a close look at this munition attached to the drone. It's actually an RPG-7 cumulative grenade, a Soviet-made anti-tank weapon. Such an ordnance can inflict significant damage on any Russian tank. It weighs around 2 kilograms and can penetrate armor up to 500 or even 600 millimeters thick. Now watch this video. The kamikaze drone is carrying precisely such a projectile. You can tell by the distinctive cone shape visible in front of the camera. Striking a moving tank with a cumulative munition immediately triggers the detonation of the tank's ammunition, turning the Russian tank into a fiery ball. The timing is also well chosen, as the tank was on a combat mission, fully loaded with ammunition. Please give a thumbs up to the operator of this drone for the amazing work. An interesting fact is that the RPG-7 anti-tank launcher can only engage targets within a range of up to 700 meters, and only if the target is within line of sight. This weapon is intended for close combat. In contrast, an FPV drone can take the same cumulative grenade and employ it within a radius of up to 10 kilometers. This type of cumulative munition is used not only against tanks, but also against various self-propelled howitzers. Take a close look at this video. An FPV drone targets a self-propelled howitzer 2S-19. The cumulative grenade penetrates the thin armor of the howitzer and triggers the detonation of all ammunition inside. The result is a fireball. There are many such cases in the war. A drone armed with such a cumulative munition can also easily destroy Russian flamethrower multiple rocket launchers, RSZO Solnsepek, which is a rather rare weapon in the Russian army. The advantages of FPV drones are clear. They are very cost-effective. To launch a kamikaze drone, you don't need any launching systems. It turns out that in close combat, directly on the front lines, FPV drones are even more valuable than artillery. Kamikaze drones can effectively target armored vehicles while they are in motion, something that artillery cannot do. An average FPV drone can carry a payload weighing from 1 to 2 kilograms over a distance of up to 10 kilometers, which is sufficient for their use across the entire depth of the battlefield. The value of drones also lies in their ability to prevent the battle itself by destroying Russian armored vehicles on the approach, so that Ukrainian infantry doesn't even have to engage in combat. It looks very intriguing. While Russian forces advance with their armored vehicles, Ukrainian soldiers sit in well-fortified bunkers and can completely halt the Russians and burn all their armored vehicles with the help of kamikaze drones. Another advantage of kamikaze drones is their surgical precision. Look at this example. Ukrainian advancing forces cannot proceed on this stretch because there is a fortified concrete bunker ahead where Russian machine gunners are hiding. To neutralize the machine gun nest, classic military science would use aviation. A fighter jet armed with a heavy 500-kilogram bomb would have to approach the target within a range of up to 30 kilometers and drop the bomb. In modern conditions, this would mean that the Ukrainian plane is likely to be shot down by the Russian air defense system. We would lose a $15 million aircraft and its crew without reaching the target. However, this task can easily be accomplished by an FPV drone carrying 2 kilograms of explosives. Unexpectedly for the enemy, and quite accurately, it flies right into the bunker, eliminating the enemy along with the machine gun. The cost of such an operation does not exceed $1,000 and takes only 15 minutes. It's also relatively easy to manipulate the drone to drop explosives directly into the hatch of an abandoned tank, or fly inside an abandoned armored transport, detonating it from the inside. We've also seen enough such cases. Do you remember the legendary Russian tank support vehicle called the Terminator? Russian military officials claimed that this vehicle was impervious to destruction by any means. Well, it was successfully destroyed using ordinary FPV drones. In this case, no cumulative munitions were even used, unfortunately. The Russians attempted to evacuate it, but were unsuccessful. When you launch an artillery shell at a target, it can lead anywhere. You're very lucky if it hits the tank directly. However, by using a kamikaze drone, you can take your time to aim and select a specific spot where you want to strike, thus causing devastating damage to the tank. FPV drones can even make enemy vehicles dance. And this is no joke. Such an incident occurred a few months ago. Reconnaissance spotted a Russian truck with an anti-aircraft machine gun attached to it among the trees. The kamikaze drone accurately hit the vehicle and set it on fire. The vehicle started to reverse, then stopped and just began dancing. This continued until it was completely engulfed in flames. You won't believe it, but Ukrainian soldiers are currently training to use FPV drones to shoot down Russian helicopters. In this video, you can see how a Ka-52 helicopter narrowly avoided colliding with the Ukrainian drone. We don't have successful cases yet, but I think we'll soon have videos like these. Helicopters typically fly at extremely low altitudes, fearing anti-aircraft defenses so they could become easy prey for FPV drones. Ukrainian forces have also advanced in the use of other types of remote-controlled drones. Drones are now actively used for road mining with anti-tank mines. Additionally, successful tests have been conducted on drones capable of delivering munitions right under advancing Russian tanks. They appear as small remote-controlled carts. They can carry up to 10 kilograms of explosives and can disable any type of Russian military equipment. The tank crew is unlikely to be able to disarm such a kamikaze drone. In addition to all of this, FPV drones are very effective for disrupting enemy logistics. They destroy vehicles that deliver ammunition, fuel, medical supplies, and food. Surveillance equipment, antennas, and the like are also targeted, causing chaos in the Russian command and slowing down their advance. Friends, thank you for watching this episode. I'm already preparing more interesting videos for you, so I recommend subscribing to the channel to make sure you don't miss them.